round. Like, not everyone knows your number, Dad. It's not like it's been broadcast on the radio to millions.
Yeah. Well, OK. I told the man I want to keep my number. But the next thing, I get a letter explaining my new look Sky bill, and there, staring back at me, was this new number.
Sheffield 56824.
You may be able to say, Tom, I can't bear to.
I couldn't understand this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, these days, people change their numbers all the time. As far as I'm concerned, numbers can change. It's only names that are sacred. I'm very particular about my full name, Thomas Wrigglesworth. I treat it the way Hindus treat cows, or Catholics treat the Virgin Mary, or the way Simon Cowell treats his suspiciously large number of salaried ex-girlfriends. 99% of the time, I'm Tom. I prefer to keep Thomas for best. As for the surname Wrigglesworth, what can I say? Not everyone's a winner. Back in the day, most surnames came from something distinctive about the person, explaining why we still have such common names going around like Butcher, Baker, Carpenter, and Cockburn. Of course, they insist on pronouncing it Coburn, but we know the truth. I'm a Wrigglesworth, so presumably one of my ancestors was considered, by general consensus, to be worthy of a wriggle. And I'm predicting that that tradition is going to return, thanks to mobile phones. Like, the address book of my mobile is chock full of people whose first name is filled in, but instead of a surname, I usually just put something distinctive about them. I've got John Photographer, Mike Kebab Shop, Claire Dumpy, and Jeff Cockburn. I told him, that's no way to stir your tea. Anyone who knows me knows I'm Tom. So I was stunned one afternoon when I received a phone call and a voice said, "Can I speak to Thomas Wrigglesworth?" Now, I was already annoyed because this was one of those new breed of cold calls operated by a computer that dials me, and when I answer, I get a ringing tone, and then they pick up, giving the bizarre impression that it's me that's phoned them. By the time I finished apologising for disturbing them, they're halfway through explaining how I can pay to sign up to a service that prevents nuisance calls. But what annoyed me more than the automated dialing was his loose and casual bandying about of the word Thomas. I said, "I'm sorry, but my name is Tom Wrigglesworth. The only person who ever calls me Thomas is my grandmother. So let me think. You're asking me, can you speak to Thomas Wrigglesworth? Well, if you're a mother of 1, grandmother of 5, great-grandmother of 7, registered blind nonagenarian who can make a single hobnob last 3/4 of an hour if you've got your teeth out, then you can call me Thomas. But, my headset-sporting friend, if you can't tick all those boxes, then I think you should ask yourself, can I speak to Thomas Wrigglesworth? And I think you'll find the answer is no. Besides, you're asking for trouble trying to sell anything to someone whose first name is regularly prefixed with the adjective doubting. I tried to explain to my dad that it didn't matter that his numbers changed. He wasn't having any of it.
You don't understand, Tom. That old number has got us through 5 kids, 2 Gulf Wars, and 23 managers of Sheffield Wednesday. I've told Sky they've a week to give me my old number back. And I'll tell you something else. I don't particularly care for Vince Cable either.
Whoa. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering where that came from, but that is simply another classic conversational gear change from my dad. His ability to switch tracks in mid-diatribe makes every chat seem like a bumpy rollercoaster ride through the middle-aged mind. For example... I
never thought I'd say this, but there are times when I'm struggling with that washing machine that I get nostalgic for a twin tub. Oh, and your brother's in prison.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, I did feel sorry for my dad. He's from a generation of people who stand by their phone number, the way they stand by their marriage, or their own set of quirky racial prejudices. But while I was sorry for my dad, on this particular Sunday, I had troubles of my own. Dad, do you remember Mark, that guy I used to work with years ago?
Tom, of course I don't remember him. I struggle to place you.
You remember Mark? Half Lebanese, half Yorkshire. We used to say that that means he'd chain you to the radiator, but he'd never switch the heating on. Thing is, he's getting married, and he wanted...
Wedding talk, eh? I'll put your mum on.
This is another typical thing. It seems that Mum and Dad have always had an unspoken...